So here we are in Carrier, the third phase finished. Pretty quiet. Japanese movement, obviously. No new carrier forces and attacks launched. I have one coming in on the fourth phase here, though, if I can keep it on the board. One of the problems with Victory Games maps, they pooch a lot more easily than any other company's maps, except some of the magazine maps that came out. The TSR era had the same problem, and there were definitely some of the companies in the early 80s started putting out this kind of thicker stock of map that was poochier. More modern maps have defeated that, but there was this one period where some really good quality in terms of the actual paper. But anyway, not a lot the U.S. can do. I've got all my planes pretty much in the air on sort of a last-ditch assault on this one big carrier force. I'm in a lot of trouble, I think, because I already kind of know there's another carrier kicking around down here. It's not very big, probably, but I've got real problems as far as I'm concerned. But I'm taking out the biggest thing first. I've got one big carrier that'll be left. I've got some planes hanging around above this guy. I haven't dealt with them yet. Some of these are in real trouble, but they don't have enough time to reach here or to reach Port Moresby, and I don't think they're allowed to land at Henderson Field in this scenario. I think it just doesn't exist. So that causes some problems. But I did get a repair mark, so the deck is down to only 1 point of damage, which means next turn I can't land, but maybe the turn after, and I may save some of these planes. Plus I reduced the damage on here. It's still got to go one more down to medium. That unfortunately I marked in pen. Oops. Alright, on to the fourth round. Oh my, another lost rule here. Try to level 2 carrier here for this unit when it moved. It's in the fourth round. And you know, I knew there was something in the commitment limits, and as I looked through it, hey, it looks like it's fine. But then on this next page down here, there's special carrier commitment. As soon as I hit the index within 5 or less, I have to remove all level 2 carrier chits. Well, that would have included this one, so this one couldn't come up. But also, all level 2 carrier chits... Wait, what? That have no revealed air strength get replaced with these weaker ones. And I'm not sure how. This could not have come. Oh, this was an upgrade. Wait, whoa, no, that's different. This is allowable. So yeah, this isn't removed. I got other ones to remove. Got a level 1 carrier here, so maybe something happens to this. Shit, I don't know where I had him. I think he's here, but just, you know, all this procedural crap, and this is how the whole game runs, and I hate that shit, right? All level 2 carriers already underneath forces without revealed air strength. Well, I think this is C4 here. This has a revealed air strength or something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I have carriers somewhere. Maybe I don't. I gotta look everywhere. But Fleet 1 just increased into a carrier, and that does not seem to be affected by this. Although if I go over the commitment limits, I think it does. I can't remember. I just read it. But, you know, this is all the step-by-step little cookbook instructions for the entire game. As a, you know, and it's got to be that way. But that's not the kind of game I like to play. All right. So I think this increased and I have a possible airstrike, but I got to remove a bunch of crap from the cup. One thing that did happen, the total air power I had would have boosted me up to a 20 air commitment. Now that's way above the limit that's in place here. So, thankfully, for my Americans, what ends up happening, I mean, we were talking about 2 strikes, 4 and 4. Coming in. What happened instead was a 2-point strike came in. The cap, which, because it's got this counter on it now, and that's kind of high, it's up to 8, I think, at this point. It wasn't as effective, so it's a half strength. But I still managed to shoot one down that way. Nothing was shot down with the anti-aircraft, but the bombers didn't do anything, and now they're on their way back, and I've got a new record here. And, well, we still got chits in the cup to draw to see what happens. Okay, so my attack on this squadron, the first pass failed to contact. The second one, though, and you're allowed to do a second pass by burning some more fuel, succeeded. So I got my strike in. The strike caused a casualty to one of these bombers, and anti-aircraft fire didn't do anything. I went after the secondary carrier because that first one is knocked out. I mean, and I found the Ryuho. And I managed to do limited hits to it, surprisingly. I managed to get a 21 strength attack on it, which is 2 dice with no modifiers. But I rolled kind of crappy, and even though I got a bonus off the limited anti-aircraft fire, I ended up only doing 2 points of damage with one of those die rolls. That gets doubled because of the lying about the amount of hits that I got, that advanced rule that I'm playing with. Looks to me like we're at cleanup, though, and it's a good thing I found this, because, you see, one of the problems with what I've done, launching all my planes to attack the crap out of the Japanese carriers that I've got, that I know where they are, other than the fact that I'm probably going to be sending some of my pilots into the drink here, there's also the real problem that I don't know anything about all this crap. That's all hidden to me now because I'm not searching. I threw my planes up on this total attack vector, and, well, if these guys slip around and get to Moresby, I could be in some serious trouble. Oh, and I forgot to do this entirely. So I got to come back. I got to take care of that. It doesn't really affect things which order I did things in. I would have hit as hard as I could no matter what. Let's take care of the Japanese attack. Alright, well, I managed to take down a couple of planes, one with cap, one with anti-air. But I'm still facing a fairly heavy attack here. It's 15 points total. And I didn't get terribly lucky. I took one hit. I would have liked not to have taken one. Not a huge deal in terms of it marking me here. Big deal, I got another 2 levels of inoperable deck on me. I got real problems on my ship. I haven't rolled my repair yet on that. But boy, this is ugly. You know, I've got a lot of planes waiting to land on that thing, and it's beginning to look like they ain't going to make it. On the other hand, I've done a pretty good number, I think, on the Japanese. Okay, so I failed to repair completely, and that's going to move us to turn 4, and this video is going up. And yes, I've mellowed a little bit here, but it's going to rekindle when I have to page through the book to look something else up. You know, it does eventually start to sink in. The way the book is organized, however, is maybe great for people who do want to learn the way it's designed to be learned from. Scenario by scenario, learn a little bit here, play a scenario, learn a little bit. But it doesn't serve as a great reference. It's very well written. All the Victory Games games are. But when they do this kind of pulsed learning, hey, and when it means that things are not in a logical order anymore, that, for example, the attack rules are way away from the generation of the Force, etc., you end up with a rule book that doesn't suit the game you're playing anymore. It suits all those little individual scenarios. Just, you know, that definitely adds to my gripiness. This goes away, and I've got a little bit of cleanup in terms of this guy flips back over, but I don't lose any knowledge of him. Some of the others, though, I'm going to lose some knowledge of, if I have any. I have a located on this. That's going to drop to only an approximate location, which is going to make it harder to hit him. That's a big deal because that is a carrier group now, supposedly. It struck me, and I know that it came from there somehow, assuming I had some kind of plane follow them. some guy just tail him. I don't know. But there we go. And as is pointed out, this is not an unrealistic game. There may be a few little tweaks like that where you're kind of like, what? But overall, this does seem to really try to model what's going on in a very, very detailed and good way. It's just, I don't know if doing a solitaire game of this type makes sense. I think the game was published in 1990. Even at that date, you could have done a computer game that could handle all the bookkeeping on this fairly well. Of course, nowadays you'd have something much, much more complicated. All right, up it goes.